All right, let's talk about money. The world of personal finance can feel like a total jungle of advice, right? Save more, spend less, invest aggressively, cut back on coffee. It's completely overwhelming. But what if there's a much clearer, more effective way to think about all this? Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and explore a really powerful system for managing your finances without all the guilt.
You know, for so many of us, dealing with money feels like you're just stuck in a maze. Every corner you turn, there's another guru with a brand new map. And honestly, most of the advice completely contradicts itself. It almost feels designed to make you feel like you're always doing something wrong.
So, let me just ask you straight up. Does this sound familiar? You're trying so hard to do the right thing, but one piece of advice just clashes with the next, and you end up feeling, well, paralyzed. If that's you, you're not alone. This confusion is a huge roadblock for so many people trying to get control of their finances. On one hand, you hear these incredibly extreme, almost punishing ideas. Like this one, from a discussion among finance nerds. You've got to sock away a whopping 65% of your income. Now, for most of us, that sounds less like a financial plan and more like a vow of poverty.
And then, bam, you get hit with the complete opposite. This idea from financial expert Ramit Sethi seems to just fly in the face of everything we've been taught about being frugal. Spend more? And right there, that's the central conflict. Is money all about restriction, or could it be a tool for something else entirely?
So let's dig into that something else. This means shifting our entire mindset away from scarcity, agonizing over every single dollar, and moving toward defining what a rich life actually means to you personally.
So what exactly is a rich life? Look, it's not about having $1 million in the bank. It's about designing a life where you can spend extravagantly on the things you truly deeply love, while mercilessly cutting costs on the things you just don't care about. It's all about being intentional. And this example just illustrates the idea so perfectly. To some people, spending that much on flowers is an absolute waste. But for her, it's a core part of her rich life. She's not saving them for a special occasion, she's making her everyday life richer. So what's your version of artisanal flowers?
Okay, so defining your rich life is the why, but you still need a practical system for the how. This is where the conscious spending plan comes in. And listen, it's not a restrictive budget. It's a simple, flexible framework for your money.
Here it is. Instead of tracking every last coffee you buy, you just divide your after-tax income into 4 main buckets. And notice the ranges. This thing is flexible. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's just to have direction. And look at that last category. A full 35% of your money is specifically set aside for you to spend totally guilt-free on your rich life.
Let's break it down really quick. Fixed costs are the essentials, the stuff you have to pay, like rent and utilities. Investments are for your long-term future. Savings goals are for those medium-term targets, like a dream vacation or a down payment. And everything else, that's your guilt-free spending. It's the money you have already decided you can use to enjoy life right now. Now, a plan is great, but let's be real. Plans can fail if they rely on constant effort and willpower. The real magic, the secret sauce, happens when you take yourself out of the equation. The key is to build an automated system that does all the heavy lifting for you.
And this is probably the most crucial point. Financial success comes from designing a good system, not just from trying harder. By automating where your money goes, you make sure your bills get paid, your investments are funded, and your savings grow without you even having to think about it.
And here's the blueprint. You start by just getting organized. Then, you link your accounts so money can move between them easily. Now, step 3 is kind of clever. Call your credit card company, your car loan, whoever, and align your due dates so everything happens at once. Then, you set up those transfers to fund your investment and savings goals right after you get paid. And finally, you just check in on it every now and then. It's a true set it and mostly forget it system.
So once your autopilot is built, you just need to give it the right instructions. And for investing, that means knowing the rules of the road, like how much you're actually allowed to contribute to your retirement accounts each year.
This is such a critical question. You don't want to get your whole system running just to find out you put in too much or not enough. So let's look at the official numbers so your automated plan is both compliant and really effective.
Okay, here are the 2025 limits for both traditional and Roth IRAs. The base contribution is $7,000, and if you're age 50 or over, you can add an extra $1,000 as a catch-up contribution. These are the numbers you'll just plug right into your automatic transfer system.
But there's another layer to this.
For a Roth IRA, which is awesome because it offers tax-free growth, the government does have some income restrictions. This is another really crucial rule your autopilot system needs to know about.
And here they are. For 2025, if you're single and your modified adjusted gross income is over $165,000, you can't contribute directly to a Roth IRA. If you're married and filing jointly, that number is $246,000. And if your income falls into that phase-out range you see there, your contribution limit gets reduced. It's just a key detail for higher earners to keep in mind.
Now that we have the system and the rules, let's circle all the way back to the psychology of this. We've talked a ton about overspending, but what about the opposite? For a lot of people who are really good at saving, the real problem becomes an inability to actually enjoy the money they have.
This quote from a Reddit user is, well, it's just so powerful. This person has a net worth of over $1 million, but still feels guilty about buying a small container of raspberries. This is a scarcity mindset in action. It's when saving becomes so ingrained that it turns into deprivation, even when it's totally unnecessary.
This really just captures the two different worlds. On one side, you have neurotic saving, this constant state of anxiety and guilt. And on the other, you have conscious spending, a philosophy built around joy and intention. The whole goal is to move from that first column over to the second.
And this drives the point home brilliantly. Life is way too short to agonize over small, joyful expenses like guacamole when your bigger financial picture is totally secure. Building a healthy, guilt-free relationship with your money is every bit as important as building your net worth.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Take a look at your own finances, your own habits, and your own mindset. Is your system just a machine for piling up wealth for some distant day in the future, or is it a tool that helps you live your richest life starting today?